Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. So you may be wondering why we're in the combine when we are in January. Well, that is because there's a saying that keeps going through my head, which is fortune favours the brave. And I think what we are about to do is going to be, we'll just wait here, is going to be quite a brave act. We're going to sell the combine. We're going to sell the header and obviously the trailer, and we're doing all this in anticipation for this year. A 9-metre header is brilliant. It is a perfect width. It's a very, very big sort of working width, but I think for this area we need bigger, and because of that I'm thinking that if we sell this and get the money cashed in sooner rather than later, sell the header and sell the trailer, we're going to make the most amount of money from here, and then we can sort of use it as sort of a war chest to build up that come harvest we can then go spend a lot of money on. They haven't moved the sprayer out of the way, we'll have to get them to do that when we go in here, and then we can go spend a lot of money with the hire purchase mod, and for a few years we'll be able to hire a brand new combine. Right, let's go over to here, and we can, so we need to return this like so. We will, oh, the header hasn't turned up in here just yet, so we will sell this. Can we sell? What do you mean change? No, back. I would like to sell that. There we go. Right, let's sell the trailer. We will sell the combine. Then last and no means least, we will, I should have repaired and repainted everything, but anyways, we'll do it for that one. We'll then sell the header, and there we are. So we now have 361,000, which is almost enough to buy the combine. Right, if we go to here, I'm hoping our ride has, well, our lift has turned up. There they are. Look at that for timing. So we're going to go hop in with our worker. We're going to go back to the farm, and there should be another contract for him to go do whilst I have a look at something else. So in actual fact, there are no contracts to do. So that being said, we're also going to get rid of this our fertilizer spreader, because we're going to pay, well, obviously we'll have to pay off our hire purchase. So let's, oh, we've dropped the front weight off there. That's that and that on. And if we go onto our menu and hire purchase, so which one is not that? Is it that one? So let's settle early. I hope that's the one that we were thinking. And now that's paid, we can get this emptied and sold. My thinking is with this, let's just empty that there for now, is now we've fertilised, fertilised and especially lined the fields, we shouldn't need a lot of lime anymore to just to keep topping them up. So I don't think we need this, and if we do, we can always lease it. Like if we were to do it every 3 years, one we'd be using a lot. And for the fertilising contracts, I'd much rather a much smaller fertiliser spreader, which does a bigger width, and we should be able to then get through them a lot quicker than what we can with this. So I think it's about 40-odd thousand to get back from this. We spent 26 settling, finished doing the final payment on it. So that will leave us with about 14,000 profit from it. And as soon as we can look to buy a smaller fertiliser spreader, we've got the same brand, the Breedle brand, but it can also do, I think it's 4,000 litres, it will do lime and it will also do fertiliser, and better yet, 42 metre working width, or so that's what I seem to remember. So we'll just pull this in, and then we'll go see our favourite friend over here. Oh, okay, they're gone. Where is, there we go. So this, let's repaint, let's repair, and that brings it up to 51,000. So let's sell that. So we're now 380,000. It's also taken off on the hire purchase. You know, there's a slight amount of money that we don't have to pay back every month, which leads me on to my next thing. If we go to our loans, we can, because we still owe 13,000 for this loan, we're going to do a special redemption, 13,303. Make special payment. So now that loan's paid off. So we are only paying back for this tractor and our bale trailer, which part of me thinks, do we pay these off or not? But I'm wanting to try to keep it so that we have a rather big deposit for when we go to buy the combine. Right, we are going to take this, and I think we're just going to park this up at the house and then we can rest through the night. But before we do, I will just have a look at how much we owe on the bale trailer. So I'll just pull into here, and whilst we're here, let's have a look. So the bale trailer is 12,900 to settle early. So I think let's settle that, and then it only means now it's £6,800 a month for this tractor, which isn't too much. I don't think it's plenty for both of us. If myself and our worker are going, because this is where now we have till harvest to keep building up the finances. But right, now we've got all that out of the way, we're off to bed. Well, I'm glad we've sold a few things and got some of our finances in order, because February was a very quiet month. We had to send our worker on holiday for a month, saying that we just couldn't afford to give him any work. But now we're back. So we're going to go get ourselves all sorted, and we're also going to go and pick up a fertiliser spreader. As well as the fertiliser spreader, we're going to lease ourselves a bale wrapper, because there are 3 contracts that would just be perfect for us. So we now have 4 contracts on the go. So the first one is going to be the fertiliser one. So we do have some fertiliser back at the farm. I don't think we'll need any more. So we can put this onto the New Holland, and this can go back for there. But what I would like to do whilst I'm here is just quickly bob online, and I want to get this front weight to go on the front of our New Holland. So we can buy that like so, and then it means, oh, our workers just turned up as well. That's good timing. So it means we can now leave that front weight there. If we reverse back and put this one on, I'm hoping it won't look too bad on here. And now let's put that on, and let's have a quick look at that. Look at that beast, that looks awesome. I'm happy with that. We will swap over with the worker, so we'll send him off in this back to the farm to load up with some fertiliser, and he can go fertiliser spreading. I'll jump into the John Deere and I will go bale wrap. Right, we will make our way down here. Considering this field is first, we'll go into here first, and then I think the next one is, if we just carry on a bit further, we will proceed to get into there, which there isn't too many bales about. So our worker, he's been flying through these fertiliser contracts. I think he's done this. I think he's on his third now. Whilst we're only on field number 2 of bale wrapping, which that is the last bale. So we can, once this drops out, we would have, that's 2 very good jobs done. This is, again, I know I've said it a million times, but this is such a beautiful place to be, and especially for access. I don't know if there's access any other way. I would say there may be something up there, but for access coming across another ford, it just beautiful. But right, we'll make our way back to the start so we can drop this wrapper back off, unless there's anything else for wrapping. No, so we've only got cultivating, which our cultivator's far too small to attempt. We could go and use a hoe, but I'd rather we cultivated that field. Well, the worker did, I should say. We could go use a hoe and do that, but I think for especially being in the UK, we'll stick with herbicide spraying. If we had a drill, we could go do these 2 fields, which, if you excuse the bag of lime that's caught in there, I really don't know how to get rid of that. This is a possibility. So it's 6 metres. We can either use it as a cultivator, or we could put the seed unit on, and if we put the front tank on where the front weight is, we can then drill crops with it. I will, however, though, it would be take all these designs off and just be the bog standard like that. So it would be £29,000 if we were to go down that route. But it should then theoretically be a direct drill, I would have thought. But anyways, let's get back to the shop. With all our gas in, the worker is very nearly completed that now, with 25% left to go. So let's just pull into here, and we can hop out and go see. Oh, you're different to the person who was here before. And now let's go through here. So there's 1,378. 2,152, yes please. 7,523. 4,681. And then we're just waiting for this fertiliser job to be complete, which is 4,373. So we have made a nice bit of income there in what, well, after 2 very, very steady months. That's lovely to finally be able to make some money. So let's we can go on our way back to the farm, and then when our worker's done fertilising, he can come back to the farm, and then we may look to move on again, because we've earned enough money now to cover any leasing. I should have really looked there. That's bad driving on my part. But yeah, we need to keep ticking these months over, but making sure that money-wise, we've still got enough money to survive. Well, so that we're not making a loss, I should say. Selling the Lexion means we can survive fairly easily at the moment, but obviously that's then to buy a bigger Lexion. I think it's the 6900, I think, is what we're looking for, which only has a 13,500 litre tank, but we can run the 13.8. Is it a 13.8 header? So we can run the biggest header on it. So the likes of these fields, we can soon get into them and make a fair dent fairly quickly. And just like that, our workers finished the fertilising contract. So we will reconvene, or I may just send them a text and just tell them that if they just go park tractor up, we'll call it a do, and then we'll move on to the next month. So right, this time we're going to have the John Deere and pull into here. And if you may be able to see, the worker should be down there somewhere. But right, hazards off, engine off, and let's go for another rest. And let's just keep getting these months, just keep these ticking over. What terrible weather. And I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to eat my words here, because we are going to go with just leased a hoe. So there's too much money in not having a, well, there's too much money we're leaving on the table by not getting one. So I've leased one so that we can go do 2 jobs and see what it's like. We're going to do one, and then I think I'll set the other one on to our worker, who, to be fair, he was up before us. He was up and out of there, and he's already on fertilizing for us. So he will be about sick of doing that by the time harvest comes. It will be a very nice break for him. So we will just reverse onto here, and I'm praying that keeping this front weight on was the right thing to do, because I know that this can be really rather heavy. And it's surprising to see in the UK, because I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would say it's more of an American practice using these sorts of things. Because I know in my experience everything's just been sprayers and herbicide. Right, we are going to one of the main, we've got to go through one of the main farms in the area, which is tucked away up in this top corner, which will be the first time that we've actually ever come to it. There's some lovely little cottages on the sides here. I wonder if any of these are for sale. It may be worth having a buy. Right, we're turning right here, and look at that for a house. Just beautiful. And then if we go, I was told, past the diesel tank, you get to the first field, which you want to go round, which I don't quite know how to do that without. We'll bob up this side here and just see, there must be another way to get to this. But this was the instructions I was told. This farmyard, go round the field and we'll get there. But I imagine there will be a track somewhere which makes life a bit easier. So around this side, no track here yet. Just watch the trees, because I don't want to damage the implement, and I don't also want to damage the crop either, because that would really put us in the bad books. Right, that was a bigger bump than I thought. This is the field in question, so we will get on. So I thought I might as well take you on this bit of a journey with me. It's made the time lapse a bit longer, but it shows off it just shows off some of the map that it's the first time that I've come to, and just shows sort of how beautiful it is. Right, now we're here, we're going to swap over with the worker. So he is going to do this field for us now, whilst we go and grab another contract and go in the New Holland, because we haven't had much chance to use that since we bought it. I think New Lad has. So there he goes off in there, doing that nice little job. We'll go and jump into here. We'll just make sure that there is enough fertiliser to do another contract. Well, there's plenty of fertiliser in here. I don't think we've got any more at the yard. I think I completely filled it up. It's hard to remember now. There's that many things going on, and we're flying about that much that it's pretty much, it's carnage. But what I may do is I can show you the combine that I'm thinking of getting. Well, not thinking, definitely getting. Now we've sold our Leasing, it's a given. This is happening no matter what. Which is just forking out a lot of money in one go. And we may even, so it's not just that, it's the combine, it's the header, it's the trailer, and we may need to hire more staff and get another trailer, because we may have to run 2 trailers just to keep feeding this, because with the header it's going to have on, it's going to be eating up crops for fun. And with only a small grain tank, it's going to be interesting. But I'm hoping with our 2 fields and then able to contract on other people's, it opens up a few more possibilities of looking at some bigger fields to do, instead of just having to look at all the smaller fields, because we may be worrying. Another option was to get exactly the same combine as what we've got, but get another, so we had 2 9-metre headers, which would give us 18 metres altogether. But with this combine that we're getting, we can upgrade it, and when we get it, I think that'll be it. That'll be it, us having it for life, and the only difference will be that we may buy a second. But right, let's just have a look on here. So this is the one we're going for, accept contract, and to get to there we need to go left over the ford, right up here and right up there. It's a little bit of a drive, and it's not far off where we were just with the hoe. We're going most of the way, and then just before, well, when we get to the farmyard, we're turning right instead of going through that secondary farmyard, which I realised that was my mistake. I got the wrong farmyard. So, you know what it's like when you're having a conversation with someone and you're adamant you know where they're on about, but then yet you get it completely wrong. Let's just hope no one saw me in the other farmyard and no one complains about us going around sort of their grass fields. So by my thinking, it's now left down here, and it should be the grass field. When we get past the grass field just coming up, so not 24, but where the road ahead bends to the right, that should be where we're going into now. And like I say, having this smaller but bigger spreader should be 10 times better for us. So let's just go open the gate, that side, and then go in. I do love that front weight. It's very nice. Just need some LEDs on it or something, some sort of lighting on it, just to make it stand out that little bit more. So let's get our GPS on. So I would imagine that would do. Is it 42 metres? Is this only 24 metres? I'm glad I checked, because that is 42 metres. It's not what it was doing. So we would have been wasting loads of fertiliser if we were to do that. So let's knock down the GPS to 42. That takes a lot more tram lines, well not tram lines, but you know what I mean, a lot more runs out of it. So if we get to here, turn it on, let's just get onto this GPS line and check, is that, yeah? If you look at the screen mini-map in the bottom left, it's showing that we're fully covering all that area. So I am very glad that we double checked that, otherwise we could be wasting a lot of fertiliser without realising it. So anyways, we'll get cracked on, we'll get this done. Depending on how our worker is going, we may look to take another one out. what an absolute mare that was. So we're now on the right course, and it's a very, very beautiful course. So we just want to do a bit of off-roading to here, and then I don't even think it'll be worth setting up a GPS route here. We might as well just spread and go, and we'll soon get this field covered. Our worker, who is currently on the hoe, he's 55% done, which is brilliant. But yeah, like I say, I got caught up just there with that road. But anyways, there's loads of development sites available. It may be something to bear in the future. You know, if you've always got to dream and plan big in life. If you think, where could we go with everything? Oh, we're just going to have to turn that off. Just be careful of the water. We don't want to put too much fert into there because it may harm wildlife. We don't want the environmental agency onto us in regard to that. So this pass here should see this done, and then we've got quite a few contracts to collect. And this really is, if this is a private, there we go, that's finished. If this is a private abode, it's a really rather lovely place to live. And they must have some machinery because they've got some outdoor sheds. But right, whilst we're here, let's get on to our invoicing. So we currently have 4 to collect. So just shy of 5,000, and then 1,300, 4,000, 5,500, and then our worker who is doing a £15,500 job. So that brings us up to nearly £350,000. So after the worker's done his job, it will certainly be that much. That was a bit rocky there. Right, we are going to go and return back to the farm, and I think that will be it for us. And we'll just go wait for our worker to finish. He won't be complaining because he gets a fair decent bit of overtime always. So, oh hello. There's a fair few crashes in this area. The last load I tried to help, well, does that mean 50, so it must be 60 mile an hour road, national speed limit. The last time we tried to help, they were rather rude to us, so we'll just carry on going and make our way back home. Whilst we're here, I am going to sort these sheds out. Now we don't have a combine. I want one shed for implements, like this one is, and then our lime seed and fertilizer, I want that to be next door. So we're going to go put the spreader next door, and we can start to move sort of pallets and whatnot across. Whether we do that now, I don't know, but I think it will, especially for if you wanted red tractor, you couldn't have everything like, you know, to be part of the red tractor scheme. And we've got everything. I don't know whether they'll let you pass on that one. Right, let's just lower the spreader down and turn that off. Is there anything else in there that really needs to come? Not really. So let's turn the beacons off. We'll turn that off. And yeah, I think whilst we're waiting for that worker to finish, we will say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the episode, and I will see you again in the next one. And one very last thing, thank you to all the new subscribers. It is very much appreciated, new and old. Bye for now.